What's up guys, it's Kevin, bringing you another BlackRock Hearthstone heroic guide here. This time we're going to be doing Baron Geddon. I'm going to start off going over some of the changes to heroic mode, what you're going to be dealing with, and the main threats that he's going to bring to the table. First off, we're going to have Ignite Mana. It's going to be his hero power for 0 mana. It's going to deal 10 damage to you if you do not spend all of your mana the previous turn. So this is going to be doing double the damage of the normal mode, and you're basically going to never want this to go off. So your deck is going to have a pretty decent curve in it to prevent this from happening. The second thing I'm going to bring up is the 3 mana cost spell, Living Bomb, that he is going to have 5 of in his deck. He's going to choose one of your minions, put it on it, and if it's alive his next turn, it's going to deal 10 damage to your entire board, including your face. This is going to be another thing that we will never want to go off, because it's going to clear your entire board and you can't afford the 10 damage to your face. So we're going to construct a deck with silences and return cards that I will show you in a minute. The last thing that I'm going to bring up of his deck is that he's going to have 2 Hellfires in it. So you're going to watch out when you're placing down your minions that you don't fill up your board too much to where he can just clear it with one spell. There's nothing really special about it, it's just a Warlock card, but it did screw me up a couple of my attempts that I tried. So now let's move over to the deck list I used to beat Baron Geddon Heroic. So here's my deck list on the side, and I'm going to go through each card, why I picked it and when to play it. Now let's start from the top here. I'm going to run 2 Light of the Nahru's. It's a good 1-drop card that is going to be able to heal you up or your minions up and possibly give you a Light Warden if you can pull it off. Next, I'm going to run 2 Mind Visions. Now, the important thing about these Mind Visions and Thought Steals that I'm going to have in this is that you can steal Living Bomb, Molten Giants. He basically doesn't have a bad card that you can get. So definitely use those when you can, when it fits your mana criteria. Third, I'm going to run 2 Power Word Shields. It's going to be able to buff your minions, it's going to fit the mana, and also it's going to draw a card. If you're going to notice, this deck is going to have a lot of draw cards in it, along with the silences and return cards, because you're going to need to draw those cards to be able to use them. Next, I'm going to run 2 Ironbeak Owls. It's a nice 2-drop that can also remove Living Bomb off of the minions that get it. After that, I'm going to have 1 Recombobulator in this deck, a 2/3/2 that's going to change the card that you pick, and when you change it, it is going to remove Living Bomb off of it. You honestly don't need these cards because they are epics, and I tried to keep it as budget as possible, but they definitely help, so if you have them, throw them in there. If you don't, I'd probably sub them out for another 2 mana cost minion so it doesn't screw up your curve. Next, and very importantly, I'm going to run 2 Youthful Brewmasters. When you return the card back to your hand, it is going to remove Living Bomb off of it, and as you can see with this deck list, it's going to have a lot of battle cries, so getting double those battle cries is always good too. After that, I'm going to run 2 Thought Steals. It is the same concept as the Mind Visions. There's really not a bad card that you can get. Everything is going to be useful, and it's going to help you spend that mana. Next, that is going to be followed by Velen's Chosens. These are going to be great 3-drop spells that are going to buff up your minions, let you trade up, and give them more spell power, attack, and health. Next, I run 1 Acolyte of Pain. It's a great 3-drop that's going to allow you to draw more cards, to have more answers for the Living Bombs and all the things that he has up his sleeve. The next cards are going to be 2 Cold Light Oracles, which are going to have the same concept. They're going to allow you to draw 2 cards, give you a 2/2 minion, and let you fill that mana gap. Up next is going to be 2 Shades of Naxxramas. These are great cards because they're going to passively gain buffs, and also they're going to be stealth, so he can't put Living Bomb on them while they're stealth. After that, I'm going to run 2 Ancient Brewmasters. Great 4-drops that are going to do the same things as Youthful Brewmasters, except they're going to fill more mana and also give you a 5/4 minion. Third to last, I'm going to run 2 Spellbreakers. These are going to be the same concept as Ironbeak Owls, except they're going to give you a 4/3 minion instead of a 2/1. Second to last, I'm going to run 2 Wailing Souls. They're going to be 4/3/5s that are going to silence your entire board. These are going to be great because later on, if he still has those Living Bombs, he's going to be able to play more than 1 a turn, and maybe you won't have that answer. This will be the answer because it'll silence all of them off, get rid of all of them immediately, and give you a 3/5 minion. And last but not least, we're going to have 2 Azure Drakes. a 5/4/4, it's going to give you spell power, and a battle cry that draws you a card. These are great because you're going to be returning them to your hand a lot most likely, and it's going to give you more of those draw cards every time you do. Now that is my entire deck list. One important thing that I am going to bring up is basically how to mulligan your first hand. You're going to want either a Northshire Cleric, a Mind Vision, or a Light of the Naru in your first hand, or else you're going to take 10 damage to the face first turn. You cannot deal with that. Turn 2 isn't that important because you can always hero power, and turn 3 you're most likely going to have a 3-mana minion because of the curve in this deck. So definitely, if you have to, mulligan your whole hand to try to get one of those 1-drops, and if you don't, honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea just to concede and start over until you do, because you're going to be set behind so much by that first turn 10 damage to the face. Another thing I'm going to bring up real fast is that a lot about beating him is going to be doing the math to make sure you spend the max amount of mana each turn that you can, and that you'll have enough for the next turn too. It's going to be really important, and it's going to be half of what you're going to need to do to beat him. And without further ado, here is 2 of my heroic Baron Geddon kills. I'll see you after that. And that brings us to the end of the video. This is the part where I ask you to subscribe and then you click a button or something. But if you want to see my last guide, I'm going to put a link at the top of this screen right here. You can click that, it'll take you to that. That's for Heroic Gar. And if you would like to subscribe, there's a big button in the middle. Once again, Ryan and I are going to be bringing out more videos. I'm going to bring out more guides and stuff. And we're just going to have an overall good time. So I hope you stick around.